Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's Common Council Committee of the Whole special meeting. It is Tuesday, July 11th at 6:30 p.m. If I could please get a roll call, Brandon.
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Gray.
Present.
Motif.
Aye. Here.
Reed.
Here.
Rolke.
Present.
Steiner.
Here.
Okay, and our meeting tonight has been properly noticed. If I could get a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Motif will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Alder Finkler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I will take a motion to convene to close session per State Statute 19.851E to deliberate or negotiate the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to discuss potential developments in the City of Columbus, specifically recently submitted RFPs for Tower Drive, 1400 Park Avenue, and 1149 West James Street.
Alder Gray moves to convene to closed session per 19.851E.
Alder Steiner can second.
Okay, we have a motion from Alder Gray and a second from Alder Steiner. And Brandon, if I could have, are we doing a roll call for this? Roll call. Yeah.
Hammer.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Motif.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Rolke.
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
We are in closed session.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
That's
Chuck, okay.
Their single pile.
I'm gonna keep it though, I've got my notes for them.
You're good.
So who's doing the minutes? Is that Chris or Brandon? What I'll do is I'll copy you on my email that I send Stephanie so they can have everything.
My husband.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for your patience this evening. Welcome to the Columbus Common Council regular meeting this evening, and welcome to the people that are streaming tonight also. Brandon, would you take roll call, please?
Motive.
Present.
Reed.
Here.
Rolke.
Present.
Steiner.
Here.
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Gray.
Present.
And would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have had notice of open meeting this evening. And I would look for a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
Alder Rolke will move to approve tonight's agenda.
Finkler will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Rolke and a second by Alder Finkler to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Yeah.
Item number 2 does not include the actual resolution. Since it was already discussed at the committee of the whole, I don't believe there's any reason to discuss it tonight if we can't actually approve the resolution.
We would still be approving the report from the engineer.
Does that have any value without a resolution?
Jason, does your work? No?
The answer to that question is sort of. The report is folded into the resolution. By approving the resolution, you're approving the report. If you want to review and approve the report tonight, you can, but then at your next meeting, you're going to be approving the resolution anyway. So they are two parts that all get put together at some point in time. So if you wish to table it for tonight and bring it up next meeting, you certainly can. Otherwise, you can deal with the report. You'll have to deal with the resolution at the next meeting anyway.
Okay, would you, Alder Gray, prefer to table it for this evening? And
It honestly doesn't make sense
Right.
to approve a report without a
Right,
resolution.
okay. And that's fine with everybody? Do we need a motion to table
I
it?
need a
Or
motion.
okay.
Need to amend the.
Or
You
amend.
just need to approve the agenda, removing number 2 for tonight.
I will amend my motion to approve tonight's agenda, removing new business item number 2.
Gray seconds.
Okay, a motion from Alder Rolke and a second from Alder Gray to remove item 2 from the agenda for this evening. Any further discussion? All those in, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 3, take action to approve the 20, oh, I'm sorry. I got way ahead of myself on that one. Sorry about that. Yeah, correspondence and communications. I believe we do have a couple of people signed up. Okay, this evening we have, David Styra? Or Styra? Okay. And if you could name and address and then the topic.
Yes, sir, of course. Dave Steer, 982 Shore Acres Road, Arnold, Maryland. I'm here tonight with Brian to discuss 1400 Park. Just wanted to say thanks for taking the time to review our proposal. Thanks also to Jesse and Peggy who stood in for us when we weren't able to be here. Really appreciate that. And to all the Columbus residents who have corresponded with us the last few weeks and months. So thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate it. Nobody had to do that, but they did, so thanks. Not much to add here. Obviously, we tried to put as much detail as we could into our proposal so that you wouldn't have to ask too many questions, but we're here for that if you need it. We know we're the only ones to write a proposal, but I just want to reiterate that if you do accept our proposal, we'd like to get started as soon as possible. This way we can get the roofing redone to keep out the elements, to keep another winter's worth of rain and snow from getting into that barn, and hopefully keep the raccoons from establishing another beachhead in there. So thanks very much. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. And now we move on to the consent agenda. So I would entertain a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motif will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Alder Rolke to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On to new business. Consider and take action on request of Lyco Manufacturing for waiver of requirement for commercial driveways to allow for a third driveway. We had this from last meeting in regards to, and I can't find my information on it. Well, anyways, we had that about approving for a third driveway. The Lyco rep and then Jason had spoken on that, so I would entertain a, thank you, entertain a motion to approve their request to allow a third commercial driveway off a commercial drive.
Alder Finkler will move to approve the waiver for requirement for commercial driveways to allow a third driveway.
Gray seconds.
Okay, we had a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Gray approving the third driveway off of commercial for Lyco Manufacturing. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, consider and take action on the 2024 budget timeline as presented. So we're looking for a motion to approve the 2024 budget procedure and schedule.
Alder Gray moves to approve the 2024 budget timeline and process.
Motif will second.
Okay, Alder Gray, motion to approve the budget timeline and 2024 budget timeline, and Alder Motif second. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, we need to consider and take action on the hiring committee's recommendation for the candidate for the Municipal Services Director position. So I would entertain a motion for that.
Motif. What?
Did I miss something?
Motif will make a motion to make an offer to the recommended candidate for the Municipal Services Director as discussed.
Gray seconds.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Alder Gray to I didn't write it down. How had you stated it?
To make an offer to the recommended candidate for the Municipal Services Director
Okay,
position.
as stated by Alder Motif. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
We're potentially spending money. Should we
Roll call.
roll call that one?
Okay.
It's not necessarily spending money, but it's probably
Yeah,
safer.
sure. Brandon, could you do a roll call then on that one?
Reed.
Aye.
Rolke.
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
All right, thank you, and thank you for that. Next is consider and take actions on the claims of $304,321.54.
Alder Motif will make a motion to approve the claims in the amount of $304,321.54.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Alder Roki to approve the claims of $304,321.54. Do we have any discussion on this item? Hearing none, Brandon, if you could take a roll call?
Rolke.
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Okay, report of the city officers. So, Chris or Brandon? You want to turn your mic on, Chris?
Is that it?
No.
There
you go.
You're on.
Okay, sorry about that. The only report I want to provide is that we have received a grant for Tower Drive reconstruction, and that you probably know about, that we have to get going on the engineering for. So with some help from our consultant engineer, we're going out for bids, because our consulting engineer cannot design this. So we'll be going out probably next week, and probably come and have a recommendation in the end of August, early September on that project. And lastly, Brad and I attended the seminar, webinar, if you will, with the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, going over the biennial budget and shared revenue in particular, as well as other things. So a lot of changes coming up, a lot of good news for financially. So we'll be reviewing that and probably getting a report to the board as part of the budget process.
Brandon, did you have anything further? Okay. Just wanted to give a huge shout out to the 4th of July Celebration Committee. I think they did a phenomenal job with the whole celebration. I was out at the park 3 of the nights, and just everything seemed to be going really well. I ran into so many super nice people. It was great. It was just wonderful to see. Along with them, I'd like to give a shout out to the police department and to the fire department and to our DPW workers for all their hard work in the preparation and throughout the event. Coming up on August 1st is National Night Out at Fireman's Park, so please be out there and attend and support the first responders. And then also for tomorrow night, the CHLPC Summer Concert Night at 6 o'clock p.m., so hope to see everybody out there. And let's get the rain over with during the day and have a beautiful night for that, so, yeah. So with that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Finkler will move to adjourn.
Steiner can second.
I have a motion from Alder Finkler, and a second from Alder Steiner to adjourn. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Anybody else need a 5 minute before we start the next? Yeah, okay, we'll come back in 5 minutes.
Whenever you're ready.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, July 11th. I've got 7:45 p.m. Brandon, could I please have a roll call?
Steiner.
Aye.
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer. Here. Gray.
Present.
Motif.
Present.
Reed. Rolke.
Present. Okay. And tonight's meeting has been properly noticed. I will take a motion to approve the agenda with one amendment that I am going to request, that we reverse agenda items 11 and 12 to take into account Chief Weiner's time, so he doesn't have to wait for the first one.
So I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda with items 11 and 12 being swapped.
Finkler will second.
I have a motion from Mayor Hammer and a second from Alder Finkler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And do we have any citizens signed up to speak that wanted to speak tonight and did not speak in the Common Council meeting? Okay, seeing none. Tonight's packet does include committee and commission minutes from the Beautification Committee from 5:23, the CUC from 5:15, Hillside Cemetery from 2:28, the Ordinance Ad Hoc Committee from 5:31, 6:12, and 6:19 of 23. Any questions or comments on those? Okay, hearing none. Next on our agenda is to review Task Order 2023-03, the 2024 Street and Utility Reconstruction, and I believe, Jason, you're going to speak to that tonight?
Thank you, Amy. Before you tonight, we have a proposal for the engineering design and bidding services for next year's capital improvement project. And I know that we've kind of recently, right when Kyle was leaving, talked about getting this approved and getting the capital plan in place. And there was some approval and discussion on the projects. And so I kind of talked to staff and said, you know, last year I think we had a very favorable result of bidding our project early. And it was, if you remember, significant cost savings. And that was, I think, a lot attributed to just being out early before contractors were booking up. A couple of things with this project that I think drive my desire to get this going a little sooner. One is we're dealing with a lot of our commercial businesses on one of these roads, and they'll have some impacts that I want to talk to them about, kind of plan ahead, get them thinking about, and work with them. So I definitely want to get in front of those businesses and meet with them and make sure that we have a plan going forward too. So it may seem a little premature, like I'm right on the coattails or chasing the ambulance here a little bit with the approved capital plan, but I want to at least get this out for discussion and talk a little bit about if this is certainly desire of the city to move forward. You know, we are kind of ready to kind of, I guess, get the engineering going, and I think there's some positives for being a little ahead of where maybe we normally would be. A lot of times we don't start these until October or something, and it always seems like we're fighting against the clock and the calendar. We're trying to hold public informational meetings during the holidays, and it just always seems like it's really forced and rushed, and we've heard that as feedback from the residents too. And so I just wanted to bring this forward tonight, at least to open up the discussion. I mean, I'm not sure how you guys feel about the timing on this, but I just wanted to kind of see if there was any feedback. This task order, again, is for Commercial Drive from Dix to Maple. So that would be a keeping the rural section as it is with the pulverize, upgrading the ditches and the stormwater. Selden Street from Lewis to Charles, so there's a 1-block section that's rated really poor on our street ratings. I think it's a 1. If you've driven across it, it's almost gravel. Richmond is the exact same block between Lewis and Charles. It's the exact same shape. They're like sisters or brothers. And then I did throw in part of our discussion with staff, there was some discussion about how bad the pavement is in Fireman's Park, kind of between the tennis courts and the golf course entrance parking lot. And I thought as long as we were we were pulverizing and overlaying on commercial, we'll have the right equipment in town to do that same kind of treatment for that short stretch. So I wanted to throw that in there, not necessarily that that was in the capital plan, but I'd like to at least bid it because I think we'll get favorable bids on it if we have more work that's very similar to that in town. And my proposal would be to do the design, but keep it as an alternate. So you weren't committing to doing that project, but at least we would get pricing on it. And if it was favorable and it made sense, we could move forward with it. So obviously that are the projects and the project areas. Again, all of our services include special assessment, meetings, permits, bidding, plan design, survey. And so I guess the schedule would be listed in here to get going sometime late July or early August, and then we would hope to have this project out to bid in December, very similar to what we had done last year, with probably bids opening right after the first of the year. So that's the proposal. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer and discuss.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for getting it going early. I think this is important for many reasons, but it's also beneficial for our citizens to have more time to.
I mean, this is, the capital improvements plan is something that we've been talking about for a while, so I'm very comfortable moving this forward. And I echo Alder Motive's compliments. I'm happy to get it going forward. And I would like to remind everyone that this is one of the huge things that we worked with our previous administrator, and he is much to thank on why we can get this going ahead of time.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate, I'm so pleased to see the early plan. I don't think we've ever looked at specific streets that were not part of a state highway project this far ahead of time, so thank you.
Is everybody comfortable moving this forward? Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to consider the chicken application for 443 West Prairie Street. And Brandon, did you have any information on that or anything you wanted to say about it?
So it sounds really dumb, but I remember doing these before. I remember them having to have the coop up and getting inspected to make sure that it was up to like chicken code, basically, before we could give them a license to have chickens. I believe that is the case per ordinance. So has this coop been actually built and inspected?
I don't know the answer to that.
Then I personally, I'm still okay tentatively moving it forward to the next meeting as long as we know that it's been built and inspected. We just need that information before we can officially approve it. I believe that is part of our ordinance. I don't have it off of the top of my head, but I remember this happening before, and I remember having many discussions with Pat about it in the past.
Are Chris or Mary Fowler here?
On a side note, we might want to update.
Alder Reed?
Oh, yes, I'm trying to remember, before it was the actual building inspector inspecting the chicken coops. And then we realized that we just need someone from a city employee to just give a quick visual check and get the okay. So it should be pretty simple. Just need to check in with the applicants.
Is that something that somebody would have the bandwidth to do before our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So pending the appropriate chicken accommodations, is everybody comfortable moving this forward to the next meeting?
I think we need to reach out to
Do they need a permit to build the coop then?
It's not permanent structure.
Okay.
They need a permit to keep the chickens.
Brandon, somebody will reach out to them then and let them know? Okay, thank you. Next item on tonight's agenda is to consider a request for additional funds for fire department pickup. And Chief Hazeltine, are you going to speak to that one for us?
What's that? You're on. Oh, thank you. All right, good evening. Try to make it quick here. We're looking for initial on the capital for our pickup truck. Just a back feed on what we use this truck for is it takes members to class. It also, we use it for doing fire inspections. It's one of the most versatile trucks in the fleet. It hooks onto our trailer, which is hooked up to our has our UTV for grass fires or any other things we do in the city. Multiple uses for it. If we have a big fire, we also use that to put all our hose in the back of the truck. So different uses. So we're looking at a 3/4 ton with heavy duty springs on it. So in the packets I had initially through the state bid, I went through the local dealer, and then I went a second one through a dealer out of Oconomowoc. I did Chevy, Ford, and Dodge, and Chevy came in at $47,600, which is cheaper than the original bid I got on the Chevy. I'm looking at that where the capital came in at $45,000. I was given for the truck, and the lowest price that came on here was $47,600 through a state bid. And that's not counting. It's probably going to be, I talked with a couple other chiefs that put vehicles like ours into service, and between with adding lettering and striping and radios and lighting, it was averaging around $15,000 onto that. So I guess I'm asking for your input on if I can get additional funds to be able to do that.
I don't see anything accounting for the current truck. How are you intending to dispose of it?
We're talking about maybe putting that in surplus to see what we can get out of it on surplus.
Do you have any guesstimate what it'll be? Because that would obviously be a good contribution to this.
2002 F-150, so there's some work needs to be done on it. So I honestly couldn't tell you a number right now. I could get back to you on a number.
Okay, yeah, because I think that'd be something good to go toward it.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize it's old, but old trucks are going for a lot of money right now.
Yes.
All vehicles are.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's money, is all I'm saying.
Yep.
Do we have room in the budget? Do you have contingency money?
I'm not sure.
I would like that answer as well.
Okay.
So is this, would this be a carryover from, so by the time that you would actually get the truck, is this something that's on, the truck is on hand?
No, they said it would be after the first of the year.
After the first of the year?
Yeah.
So you could actually use whatever you had budgeted this year, and if you were to throw something into the budget for next year, or would that not?
I would think so.
Would that work for you?
I'd have to talk with Brandon on that.
Yeah, and then offset of the cost of whatever you could get off of gov.net or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Who were you looking at going with for that? For Wisconsin surplus or gov.?
Wisconsin surplus.
Okay. I know with talking with.
Because with the lights on, and
the police
if we
chief.
leave the lights on, we could probably get a little more for it. Another department might want that.
I know with talking with the police chief and then some of the vehicles that we had gotten rid of at the utility in the past, we got a much better deal through them. It was amazing what people were willing to pay.
Yeah.
So, something to think about in that regard.
Right.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, silly question. Do you need to keep the current truck on hand until you receive the new completed new truck?
Yes.
Okay.
We
That's
need
what I was
something to-
assuming,
yeah.
that we'll just not know what we can put up against it from the auction until
Right.
after the new one is set up.
Yeah, because we got
Okay.
a spring, we may have to replace springs on it, and the tires are getting bad. It's starting to rust in the rear, so might
Okay.
have some work to be done on it before we get the other truck, so.
But yes, I would like us to check and see what we have available in contingency for the city, what we might be able to offer, and then also for our chief to check and see on his end.
Okay.
When I first received the request, I was under the impression that it would be a 2024 purchase. So the 45,000 is actually, it's been carried over previously because there wasn't a truck ready or truck available. So if this was budgeted for 2024, yes, it could be done because the chief already has 45,000 carried over. We just roll it over one more year on top of whatever they want to purchase.
Thank you. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm being a pest. Yeah, so American Packaging came to me and said they want to donate towards the fire department because we help out with a lot of their pub ed training. They've been great with the extinguisher. I can't think of that word, but anything extinguisher system that we got. We go around do public education with the kids and different companies and stuff, and we do it at American Packaging. We do trainings and touring, and so they're asking us what we would spend it on. So I told her that we have fire hose, we have miles of fire hose on all our trucks, and they're starting to expire in age. So I asked them if we could use fire hose to replace a couple of our trucks, because $5,000 will maybe cover a third of one truck. So they were fine with that. So asking for okay to get the $5,000 from American Packaging to go ahead and get that going.
Any questions? We're comfortable with that one? Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks all.
Next on the agenda is to review RFPs for Tower Drive, 1400 Park Avenue, and 1149 West James Street. So that's 10. We switched 11 and 12.
That is what
That is.
No, 10 is separate. They're not spaced. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't get the amended.
Oh, you, okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
11 and
11 and 12 are,
Sure. Thank you. All right.
so we were gonna get some staff input
staff input for the RFPs.
for the RFPs.
Sure, and I, based on the discussion, I guess we can do the best to review with the mayor and the council. You got our report, and just again, we thought we'd just give you an overview and some considerations. You have in writing, you had plenty ahead of time. I think the more important part, because you have already reviewed this, is to really look about your process. How do you want to go to the next steps? You already said you didn't really want to discuss the details tonight, so or do you want me to go through these? Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't. Sure. So anyway, these are considerations. A little bit about each project and to help you think about the next steps. Okay. So the first one, we have Tower Drive, and that is 2 proposals. Proposal A is the mix of single-family lots along the west side of the property, along with slightly smaller single-family lots along Tower Drive. Requesting that the parcel is developed, planned unit development, 40-foot wide right-of-way with a 28-foot road, which is kind of like Red Bull Trail. I think it was our regular 136. Is that our standard? Okay. Concept provides needed housing, as from what I understand, is part of your overall goals. Minor adjustments are required from variances of 6-foot side yards. There's 1,500 to 1,800 square foot homes on 80-foot lots and 1,200 to 1,300 square feet homes on 60-foot lots. Those are kind of the proposal. The location is adjacent to similar developments, as you know. The proposal is basically 100% city subsidy. City paid $225 for the property. Developer is offering $30,000 per lot for 16 lots, or $480,000. But they're asking us to do the engineering and the infrastructure, which our engineer said somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000. So there is a subsidy involved with this project. Payment for each individual lot will be paid to the city at the time of closing, so it's not the upfront cost. It's as they sell, they'll give us $30,000. That's how you read it? Yeah. Developer will purchase a minimum of 5 lots in 1 year, 5 lots in year 2, and the balance in year 3. Something to think about, is there a better alternative for the site? And I asked that for everyone, for every proposal that would not require a subsidy. This requires a subsidy. Maybe there's an alternative out there that won't consider a subsidy. And obviously, you always have the choice to negotiate a no subsidy thing. These are an initial discussion. They're always up for negotiations, as we discussed. And I'll just go through proposal B on this, then Mayor can open it up, or Amy. Proposed project is single phase, 100%, 48-unit development consisting of 2-story townhomes. The housing unit mix consists of 16 one-bedroom, 16 two-bedroom, and 16 three-bedroom units. As noted in the RFP, only 3.7 acres of the site are suitable for land development. However, this proposal would require and use the full 7.9 acres, designated portion of it as a water discharge as part of the stormwater work involved, or regulations. The only exception of the city, expectation of the city, is to help with the submission of required documentation for tax credits and financing from the county, state, and federal entities. The city paid $225,000 for this property. Developer is offering $250,000 to purchase from the city. Concept does provide good, workforce housing. No subsidy is required. Always is the question, just like before, is there a better alternative site for this density development? Is that density is what you want in that point? Thought that multi-family design for the neighborhood may be better if included townhouse-style development with individual garages rather than parking fields. Just something that notice that there's parking fields, not individual. Don't know if that's practical, but it's always a question we like to ask, because it's a little bit more residential when you have attached garages versus a parking field in the middle, though it is located in the middle. So overall, both proposals are viable. The mayor and council, remember, may reject any of the proposals. You're not required to take any of the proposals if they don't meet your expectations. You can negotiate subsidy on any of them, and design as well. You can, as part of the negotiations. Or if you reject them, you can look at a developer from outside of the RFPs. Anything, Brandon, you have to add? These are just some of our thoughts and some of the details of the proposals. Hope that helped a little bit. So I don't know if you want me to go to the next ones, or you want to just focus on this one and ask for next steps.
I think our proper next step is to, for all of council to review things in great detail. So I think for what the agenda items are tonight and the amount of information that's sitting before us, this higher level is about all we can accomplish tonight, and we'll just have to bring it back to the next meeting, unfortunately. And so I think just going through all of them so that we can bring all of them back is best.
Fair enough.
Anybody else? Okay.
I just want to add a clarification to what Ian said, that in the next meeting, all the RFP, all the proposals will be included in the packet. I just want to clarify for everyone.
Yeah. And we may have that even as a separate package for you, if, that might be easier.
I was more saying that for everybody that may be reviewing the packets online.
Good point. So property 2 is the farm property considerations. Dingle, is that the name? Dingy, thank you. Proposal is for the price paid by the city. The city paid $560,000 for the property. The proposal to purchase the property is $570,000, so a little higher actually than the purchase price. Proposal is to keep and improve the farmhouse, restore and raise the barn and outbuildings, and utilize a restored barn for an event venue, which it purports to create jobs and add an amenity for the Columbus community. The only kind of, not concern, but just as a note, given the adjacent residential development with proposed roads to the property, the mayor and council may want to consider if the proposed use is and I'm sure you discussed this, the proposed use is the highest and best use for the property. Do you really want something more dense and narrow than that? So that's something you got to think about, obviously. And then I put the same kind of clarification that, it's a viable proposal. You can reject any of the proposals. You know the routine, right? Should I go on to 3? Okay. Pardon? Oh, there was some discussion from one of your meetings that I listened to, and Brandon let me know that relative to the ARPA funds and some of, that, we met with Greg Johnson, our financial advisor, who has an expert just in ARPA in the Minnesota office. So we had some discussion with them, and there's things we have to work out depending on the final decision, but it is doable. And we'll get you, as we go further, I think we need to discuss that more as well. So, thank you, Brad.
If you could make sure to, when this comes back to the next meeting, bring in what parameters, like the different avenues that we could take to make this agreement work with and still comply with ARPA funds and not give away $500,000.
Property 3, commercial property considerations. This is the property on, tell me the street again, Brandon.
James Street.
James Street.
Old Countryside.
Old Countries, thank you. Is for mini storage, office operations for startup trade and technical entrepreneurs. This is a similar proposal by the same developer for Lot 5 in the Commerce Center development. I didn't know this, Brandon let me know that. So that's, the property is in the heart of the city's commercial district. The proposals is more an industrial use, at least in our opinion, and is not the highest and best use for the property. Kind of just, we don't think it is, just on the surface. As we dig into it, and you dig into it, you may think differently, but that's just our initial thought. The city paid $700,000 for this parcel, has selling part of it as well, which will reduce that overall cost. The developer is looking to acquire the property from the city for $1. They would then like to share as a pay-go TIF on a 50/50 basis, which, when we do the math, it's quite a big subsidy for a building that may not really fit the needs for that site. So it's a little, compared to the other ones, this one was a little easier to say, this doesn't make as much sense as a different, if someone brought up nice commercial use and things of that sort. So those are our initial thoughts on a kind of a 10,000-foot level and a little description of the proposals. And we'll make sure you get those other ones plenty of time, probably this week.
Thank you, Chris. Does anybody have any surface level questions, Alder Gray?
Well, so considering part of the reason that we don't have all the information in front of us right now is the high level of paper and things that it will take. So perhaps it would be best for us to decide which ones, if any, we want to move forward. So like if there are any that we don't feel the need to move forward to the next round, we don't necessarily have to. Does anybody get what I'm getting at?
I get what you're saying, but I think that's contradictory to our decision to needing the full RFPs in order to make that decision.
No, that's also true. I was just trying to be conservative, but I think, yeah, one of them might go faster anyway, so.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. In that case, next on the agenda, it would take a motion to convene to close session under Wisconsin Statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and Wisconsin Statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically discussion about the current and future collective bargaining agreement between the City of Columbus and the Wisconsin Professional Police Officers.
Alder Bodeff will make a motion to convene to close session as per WISSTAT 19851C and WISSTAT 19851E.
Gray seconds.
I have a motion from Alder Modeff and a second from Alder Gray. Could I please have a roll call vote?
I could have probably done it.
Finkler.
Aye.
Hammer. Gray.
Aye.
Motif. Reed.
Aye.
Rolke.
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
We are in closed session. We will not be coming back to the air tonight. Thank you, everybody.